Yeah, so what I was going to say is the contrast between how Sri Ramakrishna acts as a complete bhakta, he's just, everything is all about his devotion, compared to the Vedanta path and like Ramana Maharshi, the very strict, so it's like Ramana Maharshi is reason, and Ramakrishna is just emotion. And so he's using that to his benefit and going in the bhakti path. And it's just beautiful to see how he's affected and how sensitive he is to feeling her energy and then wanting that deeper connection.
Okay, so I will start. So I'm fasting without water, so I don't know how much I will be able to speak, but I will try my best. So Ramakrishna Paramhans, such a powerful personality in the modern world, I can say, right now, like modern times, that he started totally illiterate, maybe went to some primary school. And after that, he somehow became the priest of Kali temple. And then one of the biggest, saint, like he reached the heights of spirituality. And very beautifully, when we'll read him, we'll see that how he kills all kind of superstitions, how he kills all kind of mind activities. Very beautiful character, being a bhakt, being a devotee, like mad about Kali all the time. And after that, reaching to that higher state of formless, and from formless to silence and truth, reaching to that higher space and going in between. He was the person like who used to get samadhi, the trance situation, so often in the temple that at that time the British people who were spiritual, they used to come and do research on him. That how come he goes into trance and how he comes out of that. The things which are like a dream for us, those things were like very easy for him. So I love him personally a lot, and I'm very glad when I started my spiritual life. This was the first book which I read. And after reading this book, I was so clear that it was not easy for me to fall in any kind of trap in the name of spirituality, because the things were very clear in front of my eyes. And he was a devotee, like pure bhakt. So, like, as a priest, we know in Indian culture, we have temples, and in the temples, we have priests. So the basic thing for the priest was that invoke the energy inside you first. You have like, do your sadhana, invoke the energy inside you, and then from inside, you take the energy and put into the statue of a deity, and then worship that statue. So that was the concept of the priest. So in olden days, the priest, they used to do a lot of penance. They used to have a very, a different kind of life, not very materialistic. They used to live in temples. So that was the main phenomena of life of a priest, that they have to prove that the energy, the self inside them becomes so energetic that they can transfer it into a murti, into a deity, and then they can do the outside puja. The outside puja is ritualistic puja is necessary because many people cannot meditate longer hours on God. So for that, those people, it's easy to do the ritualistic puja. They feel good, and they can focus on God with the eyes open. So as the meditation is important with the closed eyes, Same way, the kinetic meditation, the rituals and puja is also important with the open eyes. It also makes you concentrate on one point. In the closed eye, we concentrate on our God. In the eyes open, we try to concentrate on the form of the God, whichever the deity is in front of our eyes. So he was like, he became a priest. He became a priest because Rani Rasomani made a temple. She was a zamindar, wife of a zamindar in Bengal, and she was not of a very high caste. She was lower caste, but she was a big devotee of Kalima. So she made a temple. So nobody was ready to come. The high caste Brahmins were not ready to come and do puja in her temple. So Ramakrishna Paramhans' brother, somehow they used to live in a village, and he said, okay, I will come and do puja with you. So when he came to the Calcutta to start the puja in the temple, then he called his younger brother also to come and help him. He wanted to teach his younger brother also that how to do puja. So Rasamani was very smart, very far-sighted, I can say, lady. She did not even make temple. With the temple, she arranged, she donated villages and many of the, lay ponds and everything in the name of the temple. So temple will never ask money from anywhere outside. The temple was self-sufficient. The money from the village and ponds used to come, and it was enough to run the temple. So she was like very self-sufficient system she introduced for running the temple. Even in the southern India also, when they used to make temple, they used to make the temple self-sufficient. So they don't have to ask money or donation from anywhere. So she did that, and she was a very rich lady, very, very rich lady. So before Ramakrishna Paramhans came to Calcutta, before that also, because they were Brahmins and his dad was religious, and his dad was a Vaishnava. Vaishnava means the people who believe on Krishna and Ram and Vishnu. So he was the follower of Krishna and Ram. That's why he kept his son's name Ram Krishna, both the incarnation of Vishnu together. So at home also, Ramakrishna Paramhans was introduced. He knew that what spirituality is, what bhakti is. We cannot take the name of spirituality now like bhakti, the devotion. What is a devotion? He knew that. And in his childhood also, he had a couple of times, he went into trance and he felt that oneness, the true feeling of oneness. There's a story that he was standing in his field and suddenly he felt that he is also flying like a bird. So true feeling of oneness. So when we'll read about Ramakrishna Paramhans, we'll see that not only the words are described, but with each word, there are experiments also, experience also. So he has all the experience. He can sit and say that, okay, oneness, the true oneness, he can make us understand. Samadhi, the true samadhi, he can make us understand. Deep meditation, that also he can make us understand. True bhakti, true devotion, that also he can make us understand. For me, being a Devi devotee, I am a big follower of Ramakrishna, like his bhakti. And when I started my spiritual life, my dream was to go samadhi like him. I always used to think that how he can go and how I cannot go. So, and with his grace, I reached to that level also. So I have a very beautiful relationship with him. So Ramakrishna Paramhans, when he started doing the puja of Kali, like when he entered the shrine, when he started spending time with her, he never thought that it's a idol or it's a murti. He always thought that something is there inside it which is living. no, which take breath. So what he does, there is a story somewhere that one time he tried to put some cotton in the nose of Kali and check that is she really breathing or not. And there is one more story. They say that he got some bangles and he was offering her bangle. And you know, the hands of the Murti are so big that the bangles cannot go inside. Then he said that, Ma, if you are alive, if you are here, just wear it. And then next day he saw that she was wearing the bangles. So many these kind of experiment he did. Many experiences he has. So with the devotion, only with the devotion, his Kundalini awoke. He didn't do anything extra for the Kundalini. With the devotion, his Kundalini awoke, and then all centers of his body, all chakras of his body, with his bhakti, started opening. And with every chakra, with every healing, with everything, his personality started becoming totally different, totally different. People saw him like totally absorbed into the deity, into the puja, into the bhakti. Nothing else for him was important. But then also he has to, when he started as a priest, he need to make someone guru and get initiation. So he went, his brother took him to one of the guru and they initiated him. The moment he heard the word in his ear, he started crying. Like overwhelmed with joy, with emotion, a loud cry came out of him. Because he was so happy. It was like he got what he wanted for his life. So Rani Rasumani's son-in-law, his name was Mathur. So he slowly he gave the total charge of the Kalima temple to Ramakrishna. Okay, you take care of everything, and you do puja the way you want. And Ramakrishna Paramhans puja will read like how he used to do puja. Like he was totally, in the starting, he used to follow the rituals and the proper way to do puja. But after some time, he used to go so deep into samadhi, so immersed, so absorbed, that he used to do all puja, you know, like he never used to follow any of the sequence of puja. And Ma used to be so happy with him because the God doesn't want too much rituals. The God looks devotion, the emotion inside us. The rituals, the meditation, the yoga, everything is to concentrate, to help us to concentrate, nothing else. The people who run too much behind rituals, they just become, you know, followers of rituals, or like dancing in a circle with the rituals and all things which the body can do. So he went beyond that. He started doing his own thing, totally absorbed in Kali and doing the puja the way he wanted to do. There's a story that when he started feeling the oneness, instead of offering the flower to Kali or putting water on her feet, he started doing his own puja, his own worship. He used to put water on his head, flower on his head, and everything on himself. Like how Vidya said, the story of cat also. The prasad was made for Kali and he was feeding the cat. Remember, many times when I was teaching consciousness, I always said that we all share the same consciousness. We all share one thing. There is no two. It's all one. And Ramakrishna Paramhans gave the biggest examples about it. Not praying to Devi, doing his own puja. The prasad feeding to the cat. Because he was at such a higher level that he can't feel any difference. For him, Devi and the cat, they both were same. That's the highest point, where everyone is same. We all share the one consciousness. There is only one Atma, one Brahma. We all share that Brahm's energy. And then after that, he had the first vision of Kali, where he saw the Kali. So she saw the first vision as Kali, as the image of destruction. Now, can anybody tell me what does it mean, the image of destruction?
It's the destruction of the ego self.
Yeah, the destruction of the ego self. So we always think that these deities are destructing the materialistic thing. No, they don't care about materialistic thing. They don't want it. They don't care about it. They are removing the ego. They are removing the karma. They are removing all bad kind of things which are attached with us. So the first he saw that she is doing the destruction. Then he saw that, like her head with the garlands of heads around her head, and her waist with the arms of the human arms on her waist. He saw her weapons of death in her hand, and her eyes, from her eyes, the fire was coming out. But when he touched her with his, eye and his consciousness, he felt tender love. And he saw in her the seed of immortality. So whenever we see Kali, anyone, we all get scared of her. That what she's wearing in her neck, how his tongue is out. The Ramakrishna saw everything. Then he was able to understand the love, the compassion in her heart. Why she has this kind of form? Because she wants to save us from many kind of things which continuously pull us down in our life, in our spiritual life. She wants to save us from many kind of karmic baggage. She wants to save us from attachments. She wants to save us from the things which come in our life and start diverting us towards the materialistic thing. She wants to save us from all those things. That's why her outer formation is like that. When you look at her, you get scared. But from inside, she is very passionate, very loving. She's Ma. Ma is always like that. Then he saw that she's standing on the Shiva. The Kali stands on her consort Shiva, because she's the Shakti. She's more powerful than Shiva. She stands on him. Then he saw that she is surrounded by jackals and unhealthy creatures, and the things which are in cremation ground. So she wanted to show him that all the things which are inauspicious, they all belong to her. Like how when we talk about Shiva, whatever is inauspicious belongs to Shiva. Right? So she wants to say that she is everywhere. In the good thing, she's there. In the bad thing, she's there. She is the ultimate reality. above holiness and unholiness. Now, this is a very big line, and I want everyone to understand this deeply, right? Ultimate reality above holiness and unholiness, right? Many times we say that these things are holy, these things are pure, this energy is positive. Same way, there are impure energies, there are things which are not holy, there are bad things also. The holiness and unholiness, can anyone who came into the workshop make me understand that what is holiness and what unholiness? Remember when we were doing the Manomaya Kosha, the third Kosha, at that time we were talking all kind of qualities, whether it's good and it's bad, they are at same level. So you are holy, you are unholy, you are at a same level. There is something beyond that, which is the ultimate reality. Remember, we say that the happiness is created by mind, the sadness is created by mind. Holiness is created by mind, unholiness is created by mind. There is a truth beyond that. There is a truth beyond that. If you see any of the, avatars' life, any of the big saints' life, if you read them, or if you try to understand them, you will see that they never thought about holiness or unholiness. They were beyond that. For them, everything was equal. If bad people came to Buddha, Buddha never said that I am not going to teach you. Right? Same with the Krishna, same with the Ram, same with the Christ, right? None of they said that you are unauspicious or you are not holy, so I'm not going to teach you or I'm not going to take care of you. Who made all these things? The mind created all these things. God is beyond mind. The reality is beyond mind. So he was like beyond the holiness and unholiness, both. She appears to be reeling under the spell of a wine. But who could create the mad world unless under the influence of a divine drunkenness? Anyone try to understand, tell me the meaning of this line? And I want you guys to write down also, because it's going to help everyone to understand the real spirituality. Anybody wants to tell me the meaning of this line? She appears to be reading under the spell of wine. What kind of wine is that? I always say that, right? When you have the glimpse of Sat Chit Anand, means when you have the glimpse of pure bliss, it is kind of a state of where you are not in your senses, when you are in totally bliss, when you are experiencing the Sat Chit Anand. So when you read about any saint, like, fakir and saint who used to dance on the road and sing bhajan of the God, what was their state? Do they used to drink and dance? No. They all used to be in the bliss, the ananda, the pure bliss. So when you are in the state of pure ananda and bliss, at that time, if somebody will look at you, they will think that you are drunken. So when you look at Devi, he is telling that when I look at her, because she is showing him her true vision, right? How she looks. So she looks like a little bit drunk. And then he's laughing. She who takes care of the entire world, how can she be drunk? So drunk is a very small word. We don't have, the words to describe the state of bliss or Sachidanand. We don't have those kind of big words to describe. So that is the meaning of that. Any question till now? Any question? No? Good.
The Sufis use that same meaning,
Yeah.
the word wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sufi use the same meaning. Even in Durga Shapchati and all, it's written that when you look at her, it looks like she's drunken, like in her own, she's happy in herself. Nothing from outside can make you happy. That is the reality of the life. It's for all of us. Nothing can from outside can make you happy. You have to reach that state where you are in the ananda, where you are in the bliss. Right now, sometimes we all experience happiness. Then there is a joy. Then there is the bliss state comes, the pure ananda, where you are happy in yourself. You don't need anyone else there. And she's the highest symbol of the forces of nature, right? Why he said that? Remember when we were doing Durga Shapchati last year, when we did about Devi, right? In every chapter, it was stated that Devi is the nature, Devi is the nature. So she is the nature, she is nature. And nature, everything comes in nature. We all come in nature, right? So she is the nature who like make everything. And like ultimate divine form of a woman, the form which you cannot imagine. She's a woman, about her we cannot even imagine. She now became the Sri Ramakrishna, the only reality, and the world became an unsubstantial shadow. People say, right, when we talk about big gurus, they say about the vision of Devi Devta and this and that. And then the next day we see them totally merge into the materialistic life. But when Ramakrishna Paramhans had the vision, went towards him, everything around him doesn't matter to him. It became meaningless to him. Only she was the reality. Nothing else was the reality. Right? Only she was the reality. When you see that kind of power, when you know her, nothing else matters. Right? She's so, the love, I always say, right, when we talk about the love and we say, if the mind is creating love and we need to have love, we always discuss on this point, right? That love and mercy and peace, the mind created all these things. But when you reach that level, the love which flows there, the peace which is there, it is beyond our mind. With a little glimpse only, you will be happy. The billions of dollars and anything in this world cannot make you that kind of happy, or cannot, anything in this world cannot create a love inside you, which love, which happiness, which peace you get when you reach to that point, where you are totally fulfilled. You don't even think about anything else. So that is the goal for all of us, to reach that height. And when he started doing worship to her, he poured his soul. Before him, she stood as the transparent portal of Sharon of ineffable reality. He was such a devotee, so much love, and he forget everything, whatever is happening in this world, that she became transparent for her. Ramakrishna Paramhans did not read any big book. With the Devi's grace, he had all kind of experiences, everything from form to formless, to peace. Like he has all experiences. And it was not that he's cheating or he's taking somebody else's story and saying, because at that time there was no internet, there was nothing. Almost 200 years back, right? There was nothing at that time. So she was that. And like he was like in the temple worshiping her, always looking for the, again, the living vision of the Ma. Once you see you have that kind of vision, you will always try to have, like, you will be always waiting to have more these kind of vision. And he like started doing more meditation. And he used to go and sit in the place where nobody can disturb him, like it's written in jungle, under bush, pricky plants, like nobody will come him and disturb him. And sometime at the burial ground also. And the places where like the people were like, okay, at daytime also they don't want to go because there are ghosts and all. And he used to go at these kind of places and meditate on Ma. He used to sit and cry. And why the crying here? Like all the top saints, when we read about them, they all cry a lot because they know they are almost there. They're almost there. They just want to get merged into that supreme reality. That's why they all cry. And then there is one line that this is also a very good line. While meditation, he used to take out his clothes and Brahmical thread. You know, the jane the people wear, he used to take out everything. And Hriday, one was his co-worker. And when he asked, he told him, don't you know that when we think of God, one should be freed from all ties? From our every birth, we have the 8 fetters of hatred, shame, lineage, pride, of good conduct, fear, secretiveness, caste, and grief. The sacred thread reminds me that I am a Brahman and therefore superior to all. Like so beautifully, he used to take out everything and then meditate because he didn't want any of the ties around us. Remember, before I was telling, all the time I say, the bad deeds tie you, the good deeds tie you more. Because when you donate, when you do a lot of seva, some kind of ego start coming inside you. To reach that kind of stage, you have to leave everything behind. We all have to leave everything behind. No ties around, no string attached. So why he used to take out his clothes? Because he don't want people to know that he's a priest or he's a Brahman, or so his thread also outside that, okay. So he's coming out of religion here. He's coming out of his caste system. He's denying everything. Right? Denial is the basic concept of Vedanta. You have to say no to everything. Nothing can tie you. Being a devotee also, the path is same. How it's written in Vedas that you have to say no to everything. So the path is totally same. He's denying. He's breaking everything around him. He doesn't want anything.
What do you think inspired him to want to break all of those ties?
Uh, Nothing inspired him. He had so much love. He just wanted to merge. Remember, I always say the highest stage of a bhakt or devotee is that they want to merge into God. So he wanted to merge into the God.
Mhm.
For that, he had like, if any string is attached, if any tie is remained, then I won't be able to merge into my God. So for that purpose, he was leaving everything behind. And very beautifully, he was trying to leave everything behind. Look, after 200 years back, we are reading about him.
Mhm.
The people who get scared that, oh, if I'm leaving everything behind, what will happen? I will lose everything. All this kind of feeling comes in our mind, right? And I always say that it's a mental state, nothing else. Just a mental state. From inside, you have to be ready to leave things. So he was like ready to leave everything, whatever can make a distance from a God. Doesn't wanted anything which can, create a space between him and the God. So slowly, like the formal puja, because he was a priest, so he has to do the formal puja. And he used to sit in front of Devi and sing songs for hours and hours, hours and hours. And many times he got the direct vision of the deity, direct vision of the God. And all the time he used to cry like a baby is separated from the mother. That kind of feeling he had. That she is the mom and he is the baby, and he needs to be attached to the mom all the time. That kind of line. And he used to like rub his face on the ground and weep and cry for baby if he was not able to uh, if he was not able to get any vision of the Devi, or whatever he was thinking, if he was not able to experience that kind of emotion, he used to cry, sing poetry, right, and wait for her. But he never had fantasy, right? He never had any fantasy. He was beyond mind. And his crying, his weeping, his waiting for his deity was like true. But most of the time, people who are like many people, when you talk to them, will see that about religion and deity, they have so many concept, like they think so much of deity, they will have a, like different kind of vision. But his was so pure. He just wanted only the pure deity, nothing, no fantasy, nothing else uh, in between. And he began to behave like abnormal manners. Most of the time, unconscious of the world, he most gave up food and sleep, left him altogether. So no sleep, no food, and behaving like an abnormal. Why abnormal? Because he didn't give any value to the world. The rules of world of the materialistic society were not on him. He refused to get influenced by anything, any of the worldly thing. He was totally into Devi all the time, totally into the God. And when people used to look at him, they used to say that he's like a mad. He's a madman. And people used to think when he goes into unconscious and goes into trance that something is happening to him, like he's not well. So sometimes they used to even call doctors to take care of him. And then he got the vision of the ocean of consciousness. He told that I saw a limitless, infinite, affluent ocean of consciousness. So many times we discuss and we say that the consciousness is one. So he experienced that oneness. He saw the ocean of consciousness. So see here, at one point, he's seeing the vision of deity, telling how the deity looks, how is the deity's outer form, how is she from inside, and he's waiting to look at her and getting visions of deity more and more. In the other hand, he is getting vision of the pure consciousness. We talk about the ocean of consciousness, and he had the vision of it. because nobody was his teacher. So the consciousness, the deity was teaching him, giving him all kind of knowledges, all kind of wisdom, which was not written in any of the book. He was able to see all that and experience all that. So he said that as far as the eye could see, the shining billows were madly rushing at me, all side with a terrific noise, to swallow me, and I was panting for breath. I was caught in the rush and collapsed. So when the vision of consciousness, the ocean of consciousness he got, he felt to that like water is rushing from all direction to him, and he's almost dying there. The beautiful experience that if you in front of ocean of consciousness, what are we? Tiniest or tiniest thing, right? Tiniest or tiniest thing. So that kind of particle, that kind of reality, how can even you exist in front of this big ocean? So he told that the ocean was so big that he thought that he's going to die now. And another way to look at this is what? The another way to look at it, that when the pure consciousness is in front of you, your body is not ready, your mind is not ready to have pure vision or to absorb it or to understand it. Remember in Vedanta, when we were studying about Gita, we'll study, and before that also, I always tell this reality, the ultimate truth, the Brahm, the eyes cannot see it. The tongues cannot talk about it. Because our body organs have a limitations. All the senses have a limitation. So when he got the vision of reality, he thought that he is dying and he became unconsciousness. Which is such a true description that you cannot think, you cannot see, you cannot imagine, you cannot go beyond it. So he felt that he is going to die now. So this is also very, beautiful experience he had. And we all can understand with his experience that what he felt. And when he regained his consciousness, of the world, the first word from his mouth came out, mother. Mother is Ma. So always thinking about Ma, always into Ma, and look at the Devi, look at the grace, which things we cannot understand after reading thousands of books, which things we cannot understand. We cannot have vision after doing big penance and sadhanas and pranayams and yogas and meditation. In such a young age, he was able to get everything with the grace of God. Doesn't matter how much we try, we all need the grace of God. Without that, we cannot move. Doesn't matter how much practice we do. He had the grace of God. That's why he was able to understand everything.